Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another Duelyst episode. Today we're working on a new deck, another control deck. We've done Eleanor, we did Magma. Moving on to Ziran. I made a fairly good control deck. Ziran's pretty decent in this meta. There's a fair bit of aggro going around, and Ziran, arguably out of all the generals, has the best ability to heal past, to just keep healing, keep answering things, and get to the late game pretty consistently. So we'll go through the deck. We have a couple of Shrouds. I like developing the Shroud, even though it's just a 1-1 body, other than Sunbloom. It gets some board presence, it can up-trade things in. It's just like 1 point of damage, but it can sometimes make a difference. I just prefer it over Sunbloom. Even though it might not have necessarily the reach, we've got some other ways to reach things, so it isn't the end of the world. We've got Triple Mystic. We have a 9 2-drop package. 9 2-drop package. We've got the 3 Mystics, Light Chasers, which are really nice, and Windblade Adepts. So the Light Chasers, they're kind of like Chuck the Avatar. And I would run Chuck the Avatar in a control list. I have before. It's just something that you can play early game, and you can start healing early, and then it gets value and helps trade into things pretty well. Some things that this deck might struggle against is Magma, just with their removal. Sweet. Plasma Storm, but 1 healing proc puts us out of Plasma Storm range, which was really nice when Magma was running around. And we've got the Windblade Adepts, stock standard, really solid 2-drop for Lionel. Triple Martyrdoms, we're getting into removal now. We've got the Shrouds, the Martyrdoms. Scintilla for heals, I've got the 2. Really solid, it can turn the game around. Healing 3 every turn in a late game, potentially. And then more 3-drops, we've got 3 Silverguard Knights. Again, we've got the 3 Windblade Adepts and the 3 Silverguard Knights, are really good staples. Sojourners, I always like to have a little bit of card draw in my decks, regardless of whether it's aggro or whether it's control. Just having potentially that you'll have to you want to develop to get some board control, but you also want to answer their threats, and to do that, you might put yourself at a card disadvantage. So having the card draw is really nice. We've got Blistering Scorn for a little bit of AoE there. Can come in handy, even if it's just like 1 point. It can help you trade into things, it can help clear the board. Rejuvenators, more healing again. So far we've got the Mystics, we have our Scintillas, we have Rejuvenators. Again, Lightbenders, same as the Shrouds. I like to dispel things and develop the body to help contest the board at the same time. We've got our Sun Sister Stereo. Now this is a fun pick. It puts True Strikes in your action bar, so you can use those True Strikes to chip things down, because you've got plenty of opportunities to proc healing in this deck. So you can use it for that, or you can just use it to refill your hand again. And you can easily just replace those True Strikes. So it's not the end of the world there. And I had the Sun Sister just from getting all the rares, so I thought I'd try it out. It's been pretty fun. We have the 1 Circle of Life. On the odd occasion, you're in a sticky spot, you need to remove something. That's past the sort of 4 health threshold, which you might have otherwise been able to deal with. Because 5 health is a pretty significant health point, whereas Lionel, like Immolation, would be 4. Lucent Beam with the healing proc is 4. So having something that can deal with something with 5 health is pretty nice, and heal at the same time. Dancing Blades I really like as a budget option. This is a little bit budgety. Obviously, if we were going like better late game, we might swap out the War Talents for like Excelsius. We don't have it at the moment. But I still like this list overall. So we've got the 2 Dancing Blades, 2 Ironcliff Guardians, 2 Archon Spellbinders, because we do have that left over from other control lists. And 2 War Talents. It's just a nice beefy body. Keep healing it up, keep it full HP. Plays around Plasma Storm. have something on the board. It can play around that select as well. And it's got the Frenzy, which can help clear board and like lock down your opponent if need be. And it's only a common, so that's why I went with Wartime. So I wanted to quickly get through that deck. The deck will be linked in the description, so if you want to see it, go check it out. And I have a few games lined up, so we'll get straight into it. Alrighty. We have our first game, which was a mirror. I'm looking at it. I'm not sure what I decide to replace here. I'd probably replace the Sun Sister Setup. It's better in the sort of maybe the mid game and more the late game, as I say, just to refill your hand or maybe chip down things that you can't access, because the True Strikes themselves are 1 mana, deal 2 damage. So as far as that goes, it's pretty efficient. I replaced the Stirrup and I'll replace Scintilla for now, because I was a little bit concerned. I like to have in my hand more of a curve, at least in the early game. Alright, so we definitely have a Silverguard Knight. I think I play it here. I think I play it above me. There's merit, like, I could play it here to contest this. If it tries to take the mana tile, I can move this forward and take it out. But I want to play a little bit defensively, because with these healing tiles, yeah, I'll play it above me. So with these healing tiles, it's a great benefit if your opponent is just constantly pressuring you and it's a very aggro deck. They need to be in your face. You just stand there on the healing tile and you're good to go. And then you also get healing procs. You put down the Sunforged Lancer, and the 2 mana artifact. I keep forgetting the name of that one, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So not letting him interact with anything while on this tile. Like, say if I had put that there, for example, to contest this, it can kind of make sense, but he punches that, he gets a healing proc here, and he could have ran this in maybe, and got another healing proc there. Could have been really bad for me. So I murdered him, I keep my distance, I trade this off. If he wants to threaten this, he needs to get off his healing tile. Alright, now if he moves this in, even if you heal it up afterward, that's a really favourable trade. Move this down, still at 2 health. Okay, the Golden Vitriol, that's what it is. That's what I was a little bit worried about. So now that he has that on, it wasn't very high impact. He only got the 1 proc off it. I can trade there. I do want to clear his board. This has a really high health total. Worst case scenario, the proc at the end of turn hits this, but then that just leaves this up as a 3/10, which is really strong. Trinity Oath is pretty strong, so it gets 2 procs, one of them goes face. And I do get pretty lucky in how many of them actually do go face, because I'm fine with taking that damage, because I know that I'll be able to come back from it and heal up. So now I do get rid of his healing tile. I keep my Iron Cliff right here to prevent him from moving on to the one he just created. He used the Sunrise Cloak to deny that tile, to take the mana tile and put another one down. So I do that. I think I surrounded me, don't I? Yeah, this is a pretty strong turn for me. Remove his board, remove his healing tile, develop the Scintilla, start healing up, and just surround him. Which is pretty strong. And I'll place the second Silverguard Knight. Try and find something a little bit stronger. We have our card draw, since we are down now. We've only got our 4 cards to his 6. He goes for Tempest, Fortified Assault, Punch. So that's using 3 of his health and 2 of his cards to take out that 1 minion. So that was kind of good for us. And he puts another Ritual afterward, which is smart ordering. So now my goal is keep blocking those healing tiles. So my goal is to move here. Try and remove this artifact if I can, or as much of it as I can. Didn't want to heal my Silverguard Knight and risk this dying to the proc. I didn't want to heal this and risk the Silverguard going down. So I believe yes, I have the damage. So I top decked the Scorn there. So he had 3 charges. I punched him. He has 2. I run the Silverguard in. He has 1. I Scorn. It's gone. And then I can heal up the Scintilla to make sure it doesn't go down to any pings. I believe that's what I do. It does mean that I can't develop my Sojourner this turn, because I want to prioritize keeping this alive. That's okay. This Scorn probably could have gone on the Mana Spring tile, just to try and limit his movement across here if you want to try and deal with the Scintilla. This way, yeah. This way he probably could have moved and just dispelled it with a Shroud or Lightning. But he prioritizes Silverguard Immo to clear the Scorn and back away from this. So we do decide, okay, he's at 7 health. We have card advantage. We're going to sort of pressure him a little bit. He can't step onto any of his tiles unless he makes another one with like a, I don't know, the 1 mana +1/+1 create the healing tile. That's what you could have done. So we do pressure him a fair bit. Just allow us, the spell list allows us to punch him, put a lot of pressure here. If we're going for that line, the Rejuvenator is kind of not what we want to see. But we do have a couple of chances to draw a better play this turn, or the turn coming up. What he should have done is, because this only took 1 damage and it's on the healing tile, he could have used the Scintilla to trade with the Mystic and then heal that up instead. And that would have cleared more of my board. But this just allows me to use my face and the Mystic to clear the Scintilla. Punch him with the Sojo, get the card draw I need. I also have a Scintilla on board, and I'm pretty confident we do draw the War Talon. I don't play the War Talon yet, because I want to bait a little bit more removal. I see he does have 5 cards in hand. I suspect he's got perhaps a Sunbloom, perhaps a Martyrdom, and I would rather use it on a Light Chaser, because in this turn I can get the Light Chaser just high enough so that he can't just trade into it with his face. So we need to use some kind of spell removal on it, and that would potentially bait it out so that you might not have it next turn. I place this here to block the Silverguard Knight from reaching me and punching me, in case you have buffs for this guy, and we're pretty good. The Sunriser, just by virtue of boxing him in, I kind of play into Sunriser, that's true enough. So it manages to clear my my 2-drop there. But the problem is now that every time you heal, this just gets buffed, and I think we went off this card. I'm not 100% sure though. It's hard to remember. We punch him, we get a card. Yeah. So at this point we just want as many healing procs as we can. We get the Circle of Life. That makes 1. Then we can Mystic, that makes 2. And we can BBS, which makes 3. I did misorder that in that I should have BBS this first. Just because we would have got 2 procs, and if I had potentially been 1 damage short, it was because I healed this instead and only got the 1 proc. But I think it still works out pretty well. We have exact lethal with the 9 and 2. We get a little bit of overkill here. So yeah, got to late game pretty consistently. Controlled the board. Didn't need to play my War Talent, but it was there as an option provided the Light Chaser got answered. So we'll move on to our next game. Our next game was versus a Magmar. I am only in Gold Division right now. I'm slowly working my way through the ladder. But I still feel like some of the decks I saw would be sort of common decks you'd see. Which is why I wanted to include those. So I had my opening hand, had my mulligans. I had the War Talent in hand. That's an obvious replace for the late game. I had my Healing Mystic and my Windblade Adept in hand. I will definitely play the Windblade Adept. I want to hang on to as much healing as I can for my face, especially against Magmar. And we do play a standard to contest a mana tile. We'll see what this guy's running. He plays a Metallurgist into Young Silithar. I thought about this turn for a while, trying to work out if there's a way I could play the Scorn favorably. I don't think I do though, because there's a potentially really good clear with Scorn, but I need 4 mana now, and it just didn't work out, because I could punch with this, punch the Metallurgist, Scorn, and then it would clear the egg, it would clear this, but I need to move this down to take the 4 mana to do it, and then this wouldn't have enough attack, so it's just a little bit awkward. Yeah, so what do I end up doing this turn? I wonder. I do clear the Silithar, as there's merit to trying to clear both, to be honest, because with the Metallurgist I suspect, Lava Slasher, and Lava Slasher like turn 2 is pretty rough. But I do clear the Silithar because it is threatening even more ramp. Along with the Metallurgist, he could take the tile as well and potentially have a better play. And trying to take out the Metallurgist with, say, this would just mean I'd position a little bit suboptimally. So I do keep this alive. On the off chance that he doesn't, or even if he does, he can't clear my whole board. No, he would be able to, wouldn't he? He trades this and this in, and Lava Slashes that. I can clear the Metallurgist. This Lava Slashes is 4/7, it goes to a 4/4. Doesn't end up happening. I feel like I could have played that turn a little bit better. So now we get a really nice spawn turn. He goes and opts for Sunsteel Defender instead. He didn't draw his Lava Slasher. As I said, I really could have played that turn better. But we have a really nice call with Scorn. Clear with Scorn to break the force field. Chip this down to 2 health. I could trade the Mystic, or I could punch it myself. I'm not sure what I opt to do here. And and then I can trade the Windblade Adept to clear the 3. This could just get natural selected, so maybe I should have punched it. I hope I punch it. If I didn't, that's kind of a misplay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I did it to move here to block the mana tile. Yes, it is. I feel like that could go either way. Giving this more survivability or blocking the mana tile. I do play into Frenzy, which is unfortunate. He didn't have the Nut Select, but that's a good thing. He's burning himself out pretty hard here. Invests, 1 Flash and Lava Slasher, 3 cards to try and clear that guy. And he didn't BBS, and the longer he doesn't BBS, it's pretty good. Because he hasn't, I feel a lot better about punching him and trying to clear the artifact. It's at 1 charge right now. I opt not to punch the Lava Slash and Dancing Blades instead, even though I might play into Frenzy. My other option was to punch Lava Slasher and develop this, perhaps. But, I like taking center board. I could have moved back a further space to punch it and then done this. But, you know, I value this more, almost. And if I can bait out the natural select and then play this, we're in a little bit better shape, I think. So we're at 5 cards, he's 2, we're in really good shape, other than the fact he's got this Iridium scale on. We're at even on health, ahead on board, and ahead on cards. So we're pretty good. There we go, and he punches. So he's taking a fair bit of damage. I guess he just wanted to get the frenzy in, but it didn't really matter, did it? Yeah, I guess it was just a net 0. So again, he hasn't used a natural selection, and I keep thinking, yeah, he's probably going to have it in hand. So I keep playing my natural. I do play in the Plasma Storm a little bit too hard here. My other option, like I 5 and 2 here, by taking a mana tile at 6 mana to go to 7, 5 and 2. My other option was to just Archon Spellbinder. But again, I feel like that would just get nat selected, and I feel really bad. Because, say he does Plasma Storm at 7 mana, that's most of his turn. But if he had the nat select, it'd just be 2 mana at 7 mana, then he can develop 5 mana worth of stuff. So I didn't feel too bad about it, but it did kind of suck. So I used a Shroud just to get a body out there. Playing this, it also has 3 attacks, so that wouldn't have mattered. I needed to play the 1 attack minion. And he did, and he does Plasma Storm. Which is fine. So we're still slightly ahead on health. We do not currently have any of our healing sort of synergies yet. We don't have Scintilla or anything like that. Do we join to Alignment? No. So I do get up off the wall, jam the Archon Spellbinder right below him, try and pressure him. We do draw a Scintilla, which is pretty nice. So he goes Rage Binder and punches me, which was a little bit confusing because I feel like he just didn't calculate that proper. We have the 7 damage, so the 9 damage here. So that was a misplay on his part. But with 1 card in hand, he didn't have a lot of options, I guess. But he still shouldn't have punched. Because I didn't have an extra 2 damage in hand. So that game could have gone on a little bit longer, but lucky for us it didn't. I believe I have 1 more game, which we will line up right now. Alrighty, we're versing Lenkok, we're versing a Songhai. So we've had the mirror match, we've had Magma, now we have a Songhai. Seeing Kalios is a little bit different. So in my opening hand, I replace the Archon Spellbinder, it's more of a late game card. We've got a few options here, in terms of 2-drops. I do believe I just go for Windblade Adept. I prefer to play this, and then if I have the opportunity to play this and heal something straight away, that makes it a little bit harder to remove. Plays a Blaze Hound, which I'm okay with. And he missed Dragon Seals, which makes it a little bit awkward to remove. I did plan on just trading the Windblade Adept into it. But now that could no longer happen, which is probably why he missed Dragon Sealed it. So I didn't want to inefficiently trade here. I didn't want to take 5 and trade my only card on board into that. So I do opt to Martyrdom to maintain tempo and to keep my resources alive. Because the other player would have done is to trade, and then Healing Mystic. A 3-3 is slightly better than 2-3, and I keep 5 health, you know what I'm saying? Well, I would have taken 5 health for 3, so I'd be at 22 instead of 25. And I don't regret that since he's obviously playing aggro. This Flame Blood's the biggest clue. So I'm wondering what to do here. Again, I'll place Archon. It's a little bit too early. I'm okay with trading the Windblade Adept into the Flamebite, which is, I believe, what I do. I play this defensively, and I heal up. Another thing I could have done is just to punch him and BBS to get another healing pop, which makes this play around Phoenix Fire. There is merit to that, but I opt to just try and clear as many minions as I can. We put him in a position where he can't punch me with both of his things, because we're on the diagonal to him. So he opts to use the 4 attack instead. One thing he could have done was, yeah, BBS'd it over to get into 6. I wonder what he does here. Katara. Yeah, Katara in a focus was unfortunate. So that extra healing proc wouldn't have mattered because it does the 4 in total with the backstab. And right now I'm looking at Scorn. I'm 100% looking at that Scorn. We have, just like the Magma game, we've got a pretty good Scorn turn coming up. Even though we're not versing, Lilith with all their Wraithings, it's a really nice clear. I punched that. Unfortunately, this does go down to the Scorn. Oh no, it doesn't. I can heal it up. That's nice. So I heal it up to make sure that survives. I Scorn right in front of him to block him from keeping on punching me. I'm only 2 health behind, despite... Oh, 3 health now. Yeah, I'm only 3 health behind, despite all of his aggro. And I have 2 bodies on board, and I have 2 cards advantage over him. So I'm feeling pretty good. It's 1 health disparity now. I have the body on board and he doesn't. And now with this turn, I'm thinking, do I want to just trade the Scorn in and BBS that? Or do I want to take this 3? Can I afford to? And I decide that I think I can afford to, since I have the Scintilla in hand. And I have the Mystic as well. I have a fair bit of healing coming up. This positioning plays around Painter at 6. I did kind of play into it last turn, but now that I have more board presence, I can sort of afford to position in that sense, just in case. He Saber Spine's, I guess, Killing Edge here. Yeah, Saber Spine, Killing Edge. So I'm thinking the reason he might have done this is to set up for a potential Spiral Technique. That was a 4 and a 3 mana play at 7 mana. He has 8 next turn. So the Spiral could be coming out, which is why I was a little bit concerned. I draw the Healing Mystic, but I don't have my BBSer. Healing Mystic gets me to 8 health, but 8 health isn't enough. It still goes down the Spiral. I don't yet have enough attack to finish this game. I'll definitely be punching this turn to try and close it out. But since I didn't have my BBS up, I went for a bit of a desperation move and martyrdom to my own Scintilla to get myself to 10 health, which could have made a difference. I don't think I added him to see what he did have in hand, but if he did have the Spiral, that would feel pretty good that I've put myself out of range. I've got board pressure over here. So he had the Phoenix Fire, but we didn't see the last card, so it still could have been. Again, I don't really want to heal him. I don't want to give him that chance to come back in. This is better in the early game. Just as far as the Rejuvenator goes, I've used it in a fair bit of my controllers. As far as the Rejuvenator goes, it's better in the early game. You're using your face to trade things. They haven't taken any damage yet. So then you can Rejuvenate it and you're the only one that gets healed. And you get that 4/4 body on the board. It feels pretty good. So I do move forward here. Place down the Silver Guard and Perfect Provoke him. Which is pretty good. And provided this lives, we have Letha next turn, or the Mystic and the Sojo can clean them up as well. So we win that game. Those were the 3 games I wanted to show off. just in terms of healing past bursts, there's a lot of, Magma wants to just punch you down. Songhai Spell Variant wants to just chip you down really, really fast. Even Ziran, which we had the mirror, the first one, you would suspect they would want to also play the late game, but they're still fairly bursty with the buddy, the Sunrises and the. We're gonna check this out right now. The Gold Vitriol, so they can just deal a lot of damage at the same time, and they also can use the Sunforged Lances, I believe, to get really big and punch you. So they're still kind of all about damage. This list is going about it a little bit differently, of just healing for the sake of healing to get to the late game and then drop these big threats. It's a little bit of a different take. I'm sure it's been done before, but that's just how I decided to go about it. That'll do it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and a comment down below. Deck lists will be in the description. Perhaps links to my other control videos that I've done, also in the description. I'll chuck those down there. And I'll catch you later. Bye bye.